start out with this poem called Nothing Gold, after Robert Frost's Nothing Gold Can Stay. And nothing else can stay either, not the payphone or parking meter, not the coo and keck of the passenger pigeon, or the ambivalent lover returning to his wife. A banner saying everything must go sags over the failed restaurant supply store. A plane takes off with a living brother and lands with a dead one. Another black car arrives at the gates. Hear anyone, tell me how to hear the sea's consoling murmur as it withdraws, then savages the shore. Teach me how to love the nevermore. I'm sorry for the darkness, but what can I say? It is with us all. This is called War Stories. My father's war was a shrapnel wound and his plane shot down over Germany. He was held in POW camp. As the Russians advanced, the guards simply walked away. He saw Dachau and Buchenwald, but never told me what he saw. He spent his days at a typewriter at the kitchen table or the newsroom, and his nights on a bar stool, and his final years paralyzed in a nursing home. My brother's war was different. They were never drafted, but one joined up later. Afterwards, he ruined his liver. Ruin in Old French, from the Latin ruina or ruere, to fall, as in a building collapsed by a bomb, his body uninhabitable. He was called back by the Lord, or so he believed. The oldest had a war in his head his whole life. The rest of us became his enemy, though our mother spent years as a sympathizer. Now I hear that brother is dying. I have compassion for my enemy, but not enough to visit him, his failing kidneys, his cane, his paralyzing self-pity. There were boys I knew too. One came back and turned me over in a field, and oh yes, he plowed me there, and it hurt. One was in a wheelchair and felt nothing unless I bit his nipples. One had lost a leg and tried to teach me karate. Don't be afraid to maim, he said. I've told that one before. It's all the same story. It rises from the earth and hovers like ash from a cigarette. Someone standing in a field smoking and about to disappear. See, you're writers, you can take it, right? We do traffic in the darkness, we try to bring some light to it. This is called eschatology. No way this ends with everyone rising from the family plot and rattling toward the celestial courthouse to be judged. Are we all frightened villagers? Well, yes. Everyone's cowering from something. Right now, yet another atmospheric river is dumping stalled container ships of rain on the house, uprooting trees on the hillside, and in the Christ-addled brain of my neighbor, the divine horses are being brushed and saddled. Angels are polishing their instruments, struggling into their armor. It's true that things look more accurate prediction-wise. If your prediction is more flooding and wildfires, more monstrous bugs scuttling toward the corridors of power. My neighbor believes she's pure enough to be resurrected and hoovered into heaven while the secular infidels moan about science and get trampled underfoot. If I have to think about resurrection, all I see is a Netflix series where reanimated, Jake-legged corpses shuffle through the streets while the real humans kill them again, and often each other. The compromised world of the future pretty much already here. But how did we get into this discussion? Someone brought up the Book of Revelation at the barbecue last week over a few grilling chicken thighs. My neighbor, who thinks I'm the whore of Babylon, watched me disapprovingly as I refilled my wine glass of abominations and spoke of God's people as credulous idiots. She said she would pray for me, smug in the knowledge of my imminent destruction. Oh, to be that certain, I almost admired her. But like the whore of Babylon I told the dirtiest joke I could think of. I watched her grow red-faced and offended. And there the neighborhood visit quickly ended. And I'll end with this one called Divination. Everybody got the future wrong. We're still not flying between high-rises in our cars, zipping past a hospital's 5th floor window late at night where a sentient robot squeegeeing clean an operating room, and listening to a podcast on writing, bitterly dreaming of literary fame. No one believed we would one day fly to the moon except in a song. Well, scientists did, and they were right, so there goes my dumb thesis, sailing into the Waddell Sea, sinking like a doomed Arctic expedition. Speaking of ice, someone predicted the resurrection of a cryopreserved mouse by 2035, but that mouse probably won't be happy to find itself still stuck in some lab, needle-poked by humans in white coats. Which is one of the problems with the future. It looks suspiciously like the past. Another war to end all wars. Another targeted ad trying to sell you the spatula you bought last week. Try figuring out the future by studying the cracked shoulder blade of a just-baked pig. Someone predicted that in a few years we'll be starving, or else eating bugs, which some people eat already and seem to like, but ugh. A friend once sent me fried ants from Brazil, and I gagged just looking at them. The world gets less palatable by the minute, and according to that lavishly bewigged polymath Leibniz, God made the best of all possible worlds, so this is as good as it gets, hallelujah, but ugh. Again. 7, I thought I'd be a nun when I grew up. Turned into the war of Addonizio. At 7, I thought I'd be a nun when I grew up. I tried to sacrifice my beloved stuffed lion, but when no angel came down to claim it, I lost my faith, and one day the dog ate my lion. In 2027, the asteroid 1999 AN10 will come perilously close to Earth. When this kind of thing happens in movies, there's usually a hero or heroes, misfits and fuck-ups who save the planet, but it's not the planet that needs saving. The Earth will outlast it all, at least until it's swallowed by the sun. Who and what we were will be recorded on a strand of DNA embedded in a plastic bunny, blasted into space to travel who knows where, and be found or not by who knows what. That's my prediction, which came to me in a dream just last night, after I twisted for hours in the sheets, insomnia, and sweating, and miserable. In the dream, I was that bunny, and lonely. And I will just close with this little ditty that I wrote. It's a little Dorothy Parker piece that goes, razors pain you, rivers are damned, acids stain you, and drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, you might as well live. So I did a little turn on that. It goes, families shame you, rehab's a scam, lovers strain you and don't give a damn. Friends are distracted, aging stinks, you'll soon be subtracted, you might as well drink.